in the last decade, I've spent time in China, gone through 50 companies. I'm on the board of the Chinese company, a large one today. Then I went to ZTE, full budgets and everything, looking at it. These are coaching of Baidu. You heard of Baidu? JD.com. Huawei, they still have called me to do some work for them. So I get to learn what's happening inside. So I'm going to give you some assumptions that are wrong on the outside about China. Because when you go inside and see the budgets, then you really know what's really happening there. So I began to talk to the CEOs in America, and I have a number of these people who allow me to talk to them one-on-one, go to their house. So I went to one, and I said, do you know that you serve at the mercy of the CCP? So what do you mean? I said, on the company board I am, the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, the guy sits on my left. Brilliant. Everything I say is recorded. His SOE owns 5%. And the day you don't give them what they want, everybody got it? Number two, state-owned enterprise. The day you don't give the technology, second item, once they have built the company of size, of global nature, you're out. Number one, anybody heard of John Deere? I talked to the chairman of John Deere. It's marginalized. Telephone infrastructure. It used to be AT&T, Lucent, Alstom, then Nokia, Siemens, then Nokia. Nokia is now marginalized. Ericsson is marginalized. So I went to one of them, and they said, yeah. So one guy said to me, we're scratching our head, what do we do? This is the second largest market for many of these companies. Heard of Qualcomm?
Yes.
Heard of Amway? Second largest. Heard of Volkswagen? The largest. So I'm sitting in a meeting in 2007 or so with Jeff Immelt in GE, and the discussion is going on, should we give technology to China? Without GE and without Honeywell, they can't build the aeroplane. And so we're rationalizing. At that time, the assumption was that China-friendly things will go forward, so on. So Jeff said, I have a choice. I give them no technology, they will become number one in the world, and they will compete with us. Or I take 49%, be a bigger pie, and be able to play the game. Nobody knew that assumption will be turned over its head. So we have a large number of companies who have a large dependence on the Chinese market. Now, here is the first point. There is a deliberate Chinese strategy, which I'll show you in a minute, to get market access of China in exchange for technology and help them build your own dominant global competitor. Did I come out clearly? You got it? No? They will keep you in China until you give them the technology. Not enough. Even if you don't, unless you're a very small company, they're building their company And when you get there, you're marginalized. Everybody got that? So as one of the people talked to me privately, he said, Ram, we are creating our own executioner, which is true. So that's another one. I'll give you one in the boardroom. So in this boardroom, I'm not a board member, but I go there. This $10 billion company, president, COO, a CEO, and he's a hired hand in a family company. He makes a presentation to put $100 million plant in China, in Shanghai, with an SOE partnership. And he says we can recoup this in 4 years. Makes a very persuasive case. It makes a lot of sense. And one board member who had worked in China asked the same question. He said, number one, if you give it to the Shanghai SOE, they will give it to the whole China. How long do you think it will take for them to take you out? The board declined the investment. Choice India. So they asked me a couple of companies, and I gave them some names to say, you work it through. So here, the key word is that Russia-Ukraine war has really lit the fire in the American executives what we're going to do. Volkswagen has announced that we will stop chasing market share. We will stop chasing volume. We're going to redesign the strategy, and they will, over time, going to get out over time. So here, then it became clear that in the economic war, what is China's strategy? I'm going to give you a capsule of it. I'm writing in the book very extensively what is China economic strategy is. It is the only country that I know, there may be more, that has an explicit, brilliant, well-executed foreign economic policy, economic strategy. India doesn't have it, as far as I know. I know for sure America doesn't have it. Europe doesn't have it. Only they have it.